If you're working to build your O-1A or your EB-1A profiles, there's many ways to improve it, but not all of them are equally effective. So, what are the best three?
So the best three, I always like to start with judging the work of other professionals. And the reason is because it's one of the easier criteria compared to everything else. It doesn't have a lot of limitations, and it's easier to get these opportunities. So, for example, if you want to improve the criteria, or you're starting, to build your profile for EB1 or O1, you can explore things like judging hackathons. Also startup competitions for accelerators, and you can also peer review papers or review memberships. Let's say you're a member of an organization and you're on the membership committee and you're reviewing the applications for the new members. I have seen a couple times submitted open source. So if you review the codes of other people on open source, and we can show it, you have the evidence, that can also be considered judging. There are a couple limitations, I would say. Basically, if you judge the work of students, that's not going to count. Now, if it's at a PhD level, perhaps that could work, but judging high school or college, it's not good evidence for USCIS. The other limitation is judging or reviewing work within your own organization. That doesn't count as well. Doesn't matter how prestigious that is. And the reason is it's part of your job. It's part of your KPIs. You get paid to do it. But everything else is fair game.
Yeah. And it's not just easier, it's not easy, but it's easier than other categories, but it's also faster, right?
Because it is faster. To me, it's very transactional, meaning, you do a hackathon today, then there's another one the following day, the following week, the following month. And by the time you're done, with your preparation for your file, for your EB1 file or O1, some people have like 20 of these, and that's great evidence to have.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's one.
That's one. The next one is press. So media, basically think PR. So articles about you and your work. However, you have to be careful here because, if PR is not part of your profile, then it might not be a great idea. But if it is, let's say, you're a founder of a company, right? And obviously, as a founder of a company, you have to be in the eyes of the press. The press will publish about you, they will publish about your company. So these are great examples of how you can utilize press to build that criteria. Now, compare that to a tech person who for 20 years has been coding and, doing patents, and has never had any press exposure. And now, three months before the file, there are 5 articles about them. That doesn't seem legitimate. It immediately will raise a red flag with USCIS. So in these cases, I would discourage it because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and even with the founders or the public figures, let's say, we always talk about how important it is for this to be organic,
right,
and real, right? Like, can you speak a bit more about
that?
Yeah,
so obviously, in the world of PR, you can pay a PR agency, you can pay journalists to write something about you. But this is not organic, right? This is it's not fraud, it's not illegal, it is legitimate. That's what people do, but that's not it's not for purposes of EB1. So what you want to do is usually establish a relationship with that magazine or journalist for a long period of time. Start writing interesting things. Maybe your first or have them write, interesting thing about you, or you write interesting things, and then they publish it, and slowly you have that relationship with the journalist. And ultimately, after, I don't know, I mean, there's no timeline, but 6 months to 1 year to 2 years, it will make sense that they write an article about you and your work.
Yeah, and it's completely fine to have a PR person working with you to help you tell your story. But at the end of the day, you want the journalist to be genuinely interested as opposed to getting paid. So they are really interested in what you're doing and organically want to write about you.
Right, that is correct. So what I have seen a lot of, I mean, not everybody is a gifted writer, right? So sometimes people, do have, issues writing or presenting their work or telling about their work. So at that point, obviously, you can get some help. But, the journalist or the magazine or the newspaper should have genuine interest in your work.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and what's the third one?
The third one is basically you as an author, right? So you publishing your technical articles, scholarly articles, if you're more in the research field, or publishing for major media. And what is it's similar to what I said with for publications, right? I mean, for PR. So here, obviously, you do want to publish quality articles. The main requirement here is that this needs to have the publication needs to have editorial process. The article has to be something, something interesting, something innovative, and it has to be their major media or trade journal or scholarly journal.
And something technical in nature, right? Like you cannot just be writing about anything. It needs to be like technical, advanced in your field, right?
Right. Yeah. It has to be. Yeah. It has to be. I mean, it has to be about your work technically. So, but this time you're the author. So it can be about your career. It can be about the causes that you support. Doesn't matter how impressive that is or interesting it might be. But USCIS wants to see that you write more technical articles, more focused on your work and more focused on your expertise.
Excellent. So these three are not the only ways to improve your profile. However, we've seen it be very effective to organically improve your profile, enhance your profile. And there's other things you can do, such as go to conferences, be a mentor, many other things that are outside of the categories. But when you want to improve the categories part of things, these are typically the ones that we've seen work the best.